They're here.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
Hulk, go smash.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
Here's Johnny. What do you want?
Hey, motherfucker.
You never go ass to mouth.
Now what is so damn funny?
And here we go. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight.
Force will be with you. Always.
But the truth! You can't handle the truth! Showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the For Real Movie Club. I am your host, Chris the Dace Man Dace, and joining me on this month edition, Mr. Tony Mango.
Woo! What's up, everybody?
And Miss Briana Gaitan.
Hey.
So this month on the For Real Movie Club, we will be talking, we're actually going to step out of our comfort zone a little bit, and instead of talking about classic films or films that have aired not within this recent year, we're going to be talking about Oscar nominees for Best Picture. We'll be running through The Imitation Game, The Theory of Everything, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Birdman. So the first film we're going to kick off with is The Imitation Game, which is a British-American historical thriller directed by Morton Tyldum. Probably butchered that. It's a screenplay by Graham Moore based on the biography Alan Turing, The Enigma of Andrew Hodges. I butchered that too. The film stars Benedict Cumberbatch, a.k.a. Doctor Strange, a.k.a. Sherlock, a.k.a. that big fucking dinosaur from Hobbit, or Dragon.
Dragon, yeah. And it's Alan Turing, not Turning.
Damn it. So anyway, it's a British, I can't say that either.
Guy.
He does stuff. Who helped solve an Enigma code during the Second World War and was later prosecuted for his being gay and his homosexuality. The film's screenplay topped the annual blacklist for Best Unproduced Hollywood Film Scripts in 2011. The Weinstein Company acquired the film for $7 million in February 2014 and is the highest amount ever paid for a U.S. distribution right at the European film market. It was released theatrically in the UK on 14th of November and on the United States on the 28th of November. So, like always here on the For Real Movie Club, we are going to go around the panel, which is a very small panel tonight, and ask what was your initial reaction to The Imitation Game. Tony, we'll start with you.
All right, I've been watching a lot of movies this month. I didn't count ahead of time. I probably should have to make that more interesting, but I think maybe in the past month and a half, since we're the 14th right now that we're recording this, I might have seen, 15 movies or so. So I've been in a real big movie mood, and I really, really want to watch a lot of like dramas specifically. So Imitation Game was something that made me interested at first, but the very beginning of it was really sluggish, and once I picked up the pace, it was a little bit better. But man, there were sections of this I just didn't get into, and overall, I gotta say, not too impressed for an Oscar Best Picture nominee.
Briana, what were your initial thoughts on The Imitation Game?
I'm not a huge fan of any type of historical. I didn't even know what Enigma was, and in fact, I thought it was enema. So I went to the movie thinking it was about something completely different. I liked the acting. The acting was good, but just not a fan of history, so it was sort of iffy for me.
So another thing we talk about here on the For Real Movie Club is casting. So obviously it stars Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead role, but it also has Keira Knightley, Matthew Goode, Rory Kinnear. Is that Greg's kid?
Sure.
Cool. Well, you are now Greg's kid. Charles Dance, which I've gotten called before, and Mark Strong. So, Tony, when it comes to casting for this biopic, what were your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you were going to ask me who would I cast as Peter Hilton, I mean, I got a long list. I didn't know any of these actual historical figures, so I couldn't really be like, well, Benedict Cumberbatch is a terrible Alan Turing because he doesn't capture this part about him or whatever. They all seemed fine. Keira Knightley is somebody who I think gets a little bit more credit than she deserves in movies that she shouldn't, and doesn't get as much credit in the ones that she does. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, sort of. But for the most part, everybody was fine. They did their parts fine. Out of everybody, though, I think the person that I liked the best was Matthew Good. And I probably shouldn't have, because he was kind of like the biggest dick out of the whole thing. But that just proves that he did a good enough job with that. So,
Briana, what were your thoughts on the casting for the movie?
I thought it was awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch did an amazing job, and well, Keira Knightley, she doesn't do anything else but play those types of movies, timepieces. But none of the actors I even recognized, so I didn't even know who anybody else was. But I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was awesome.
So to give us a few facts when it comes to this movie here on the Four Reel Movie Club, it has been nominated in 8 categories for the 87th Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Cumberbatch, Best Supporting Actress for Keira Knightley, and it's garnered 5 nominations in the 72nd Golden Globe Awards and was nominated in 3 categories for the 21st Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards, including Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. In addition, it's received 9 British Academy of Film and Television Arts nominations, including Best Film and Outstanding British Film. Its cast and crew were honored by the LGBT, Civil Rights Advocacy, and Political Lobbying Organization's Human Rights Campaign for bringing Turing's, did I say it right, legacy to a wider audience. As of this month, this month being February 2015, the film had grossed a total of $153 million worldwide against a $14 million production budget, making it the highest-grossing independent film of 2014. Now, one of the things that have come with this, and we talk about it all the time on Four Reel Movie Club, is the soundtrack. The London Symphony Orchestra was hired to help record a lot of the music behind this movie. Tony, what were your thoughts on the score for The Imitation Game?
Well, since I've done more than my fair share of Four Reels, I know now ahead of time to take notes about the music, and I don't have a single note about any of the music in any of these movies. I couldn't tell you if I reheard it again that it was from The Imitation Game, which really kind of annoys me because one of my favorite things in movies is to, come out with it with an awesome soundtrack. We just watched Kingsman the other day, and the first thing I thought of when I got home was, all right, well, there was Give It Up from Casey and the Sunshine Band, or I think that's them. There's the Iggy Azalea song, which I don't really like Iggy Azalea song, but
Free Bird.
I didn't download Freebird.
Oh.
Or I should say I didn't buy. There you go. I downloaded the whole soundtrack for Kingsman. Yeah, I just said downloaded. Fuck it, I don't care. And those a couple of other songs and stuff because they stuck with me, and none of the music in any of these movies did. So that's a huge disappointment to me.
Briana, what were your thoughts on the music behind The Imitation Game?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I did not even pay attention to the music in it. It just didn't stick out to me at all. So I have no thoughts whatsoever on it. It just kind of went over.
When it comes to the movies we're going to be discussing tonight, there's 2 biopics. I want to think Birdman was a biopic just to be happy, but it kind of might be. We'll get to it when we talk to it. One of the things that surround this movie is the controversy. So during production, there was criticism regarding the film's purported downplaying of Turing's homosexuality, particularly condemning the portrayal of his relationship with close friend and one-time fiancée Joan Clark. Hodges, author of the book upon which the film was based, described the script as having built up the relationship with Joan much more than it actually was. Turing's surviving niece, Payne, thought that Knightley was inappropriately cast as Clark, whom she described as rather plain. Speaking to Empire, director Tildum, again probably butchering, expressed his decision on taking on the project. It is such a complex story. It was the gay rights element, but also how his ideas were kept secret and how incredibly important his work was during the war, that he was never given credit for. So the question I'm going to present to you guys, and we'll start with you, Tony, this controversy where they took this historical figure, and now it's the world of Hollywood and cinema, and harped more on a relationship that may not have historically been there. Do you think that was okay for the director to say, all right, I've got Keira Knightley, she's playing this his one-time fiance Joan Clark, and I'm going to make more of a love interest there than what may have really been there?
Yes and no. I understand why he did it, and I can't say that I wouldn't do the same, but at the same time, this is clearly a pretty heavy-handed Oscar bait movie, and it wouldn't have been as striking in that regard if they didn't do that, which is a bit of a shame because you shouldn't have Oscar bait movies that actually work for Oscar bait. And Keira Knightley is an actress that is a big enough name that they can't just like throw her into it like a Matthew Good. Matthew Good's a known name, but he's not, a megastar or anything like that. He can play a supporting character. Keira Knightley, being pretty much the only woman in the script, can't just be, nobody. There would be so many people that would complain, whether it were general movie-going audiences, where they're like complaining that, they wish that there would have been some kind of like a romance element, or different women's groups that are, the type that would complain about something like that. I mean, there's groups for everything that'll complain about everything, no matter what you do. You could have had somebody throw a red bouncy ball in this movie, and somebody would have complained that the blue bouncy balls aren't getting enough credit and stuff. But to try to get rid of that, they add more to it and, give her more to do, bulk out the story a little bit. And at the same time, it's not really the right thing to do in my mind, because you can't just take too many liberties. And if the story isn't strong enough to where it can stand on its own, I don't think that you should necessarily make the movie. You shouldn't have to add a whole lot more for an entire subplot of a movie just to justify having an extra, half an hour's worth of material or something. So I get why they did it, but I'm also kind of on the fence with it.
Briana, what are your thoughts on changing historical events or taking certain liberties with a biopic such as this?
Well, I may have been the only person that thought this, but I didn't even realize that he was a homosexual until he actually admitted it in the film.
I agree with you. I did the same.
Yeah. He just acted like Sheldon Cooper. He acted just like him. And so I just kind of thought he was, just a nerd. He just didn't really like girls, or just was too shy. I don't know. But yeah, they downplayed it a whole lot, I think, in that sense. And as far as Keira Knightley goes, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a girl. I think she's plain. I don't find her that hot or anything. She's plain looking to me. So, I don't know.
I think she's hot.
I don't think she's hot. She's just plain to me. She's funny looking.
I prefer her counterpart, Natalie Portman, though.
Yes. One thing I'm going to ask for every film we go over tonight, because it's a special theme for the For Real Movie Club doing Oscar films. Tony, we'll start with you. What makes this an Oscar-worthy movie compared to something like Selma that did not get nominated?
Selma I haven't seen yet, so I can't really take shots against it, although Selma seems like the type of movie that I wouldn't really like because I'm not a huge fan of historical movies. This Oscar bait, I mentioned that before earlier. One of the main things that's Oscar bait is obviously historical. If you throw in something that's a period piece, something that involved a war, romance, drama, you hit these like check marks, then you're pretty much going to end up getting nominated. What's that movie? The Angelina Jolie one that's nominated.
Oh, about the racer, or who ends up in like a Japanese determined.
Yeah, it's like
that. Yeah,
whatever. It's like Seabiscuit but a dude or something. Any of those. That movie, the American Sniper one that we're going to be talking about a little bit later, Theory of Everything. All these movies just take a historical thing and they amp up the drama, or if it's dramatic enough, then they don't need to do that. But I don't know if this should have been nominated for Best Picture. But we've got a weak list of Best Picture nominees this year, so I don't know. Compared to a lot of the other ones, it seems like it's a safe movie, if that makes sense.
Briana, what do you think makes this an Oscar-worthy movie, or if it's Oscar-worthy at all?
The only thing I guess I've already said this like twice already. The only thing I really liked about it was Benedict Cumberbatch. He did an amazing job. And maybe it was because he looked like he was going to cry in every scene. That took a lot of acting skills. His eyes, it was just horrible. Poor guy. But yeah, he was the only thing I liked. And probably the only reason I think it got nominated. But I'm not a huge fan of Oscar movies. I had never heard of any of these movies at all that were nominated, and I probably wouldn't have ever watched them. But he's the only thing I liked in it.
Okay, before we wrap up this movie, we're going to go around the table one more time and find out our final thoughts, and you're going to give it a rating between 1 and 10, 10 being go see it, 1 saying probably set it on fire if it comes anywhere near close to you. So, Tony, final thoughts and rating 1 to 10 on The Imitation Game.
Let's see. Rating wise, maybe a 6. It's it does better than an average movie, but it's not anything I'm gonna watch again. I wouldn't set it on fire. If somebody hands me a DVD, I'm not gonna be like burning at my skin or something. But there were parts in it that I thought were okay, parts that really dragged. The relationship drama stuff I thought was a huge drag on the movie, and I was really happy to see that they subverted the trope and it turned out that he was gay, because I didn't know ahead of time that he was. So that was cool, but at the same time, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you could tell that kid's brother was doomed as fuck. And that was just like, I'm waiting for that to happen. As far as like favorite scenes, least favorite scenes and stuff like that, I guess my favorite would probably be when he fires the other people, because that was actually like the first time that there was like a little bit of levity in the movie. Maybe when the machine works, that was kind of good, but my least favorite parts were the flashbacks with the kid. I just did not find them entertaining.
Yeah, what did they have to do with the movie at all anyway? It just didn't make sense.
It was basically there just to be like, this is the guy that he loves, and we're going to waste a lot of time on it.
Tony, what was your rank, 1 to 10? Was it 6?
Yeah, 6. I'll go with that.
Did I just coerce you into a 6?
I have 6 or 7 down, and since you reminded me that I had said 6, I'm demoting it to a 6, definitely.
Sweet, I can sway people. Briana, what were your final thoughts, favorite scenes, least favorite scenes, and a ranking 1 to 10 on The Imitation Game?
Okay, I am going to give this a 7, but only because, Benedict again. And I thought it was pretty educational and kind of diverse, with the women's rights and the homosexuality and, just everything with the war. So it was pretty educational. So that's why I'm going to recommend it a 7. I don't have any favorite scenes because it was just one of those average type movies where nothing really stuck out more than anything else. But I do think those flashbacks were really boring just because I thought they were friends the entire time. So that's the whole thing where he's in love with his friend at the end just kind of changed the whole thing for me. I'm like, oh, I thought they were just sweet friends, and now they were in love with each other. And then I got the fact that he named that computer after him, and it just changed everything. So I just wasn't a big fan of those flashbacks either.
Well, there you have it, fans out there in the movie-going world. That was The Imitation Game, so stick around, let the playlist just kick into the next film, because the next film we will be talking about here on the Four Reel Movie Club is the biopic for Stephen Hawking, The Theory of Everything. So sit back, relax, and check out the next video here on the Four Reel Movie Club.